HaShachar, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasech v'bina lavchin ben yom uvein laila.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben Harim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam abi shalomim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sokef kufufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani li kol tzarki.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam azer Yisrael b'gorah.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, motei Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten li'aif koach.
Page 14.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah l'mo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Page 17, responsibly. In the fulfillment of the following mitzvot, no fixed measure is imposed.
Leaving the corners of the field for the poor, the gift of the first fruits, the pilgrimage offering at the temple, deeds of loving kindness, and the study of the Torah.
With regard to the fulfillment of the following mitzvot, we enjoy their fulfillment in this life, while an ongoing joy results even unto eternity.
Honoring parents, deeds of loving kindness, the study of Torah, hospitality to strangers, visiting the sick, enabling a bride to rejoice on her wedding day, escorting the dead to the grave, prayer and peacemaking. But the study of the Torah is by itself equal to them all.
Those in mourning, those observing a yahrzeit today will now please rise to recite the Kaddish to Rabbanan, page 18. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon v'mechon v'chayei l'kol beit Yisrael. V'hagalav v'yizman kari v'yimru. Amen.
Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbama Barach, le'olam olamei omaya.
Yit barach v'yish tabak v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit halev v'yit halal shemei dekudusha.
Brechu.
Le'elam minko b'chata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nehemata. Dami ram v'yalma v'yimru. Amen.
Amen. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidei Hon v'al Kol Tamidei Hon v'al Kol Man Ta'askin B'Oraita Di v'Atra Hadain v'Di v'Chol Atar v'Atar Yehei Lahon Olchon Shlama Rabbah China v'Chizda v'Rachamin v'Chayin Arechin Mezona Revicha Uforkana min kodam avahundi vishmaya v'imru. Amen.
Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya. V'chayim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mruma. Hu b'rachamav ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Page 21, responsibly. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have raised me up and have not allowed my adversaries to overcome me.
O Lord my God, I cried unto you, and you did heal me.
O Lord, you saved me from the peril of death and kept me alive.
Sing praises to the Lord, O you who are God's faithful ones, and give thanks to God's holy name.
His anger is but for a moment, while his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may come upon us at night, but joy comes in the morning.
I have said in my security, I shall never be disturbed.
O Lord, in your kindness you granted me mountains of strength, but when you turned away from me, I became frightened.
Therefore I did call unto you with supplication, asking,
what profit is there if I die and go to the netherworld? Can dust praise you? Can lifeless beings declare your truths?
Hear, O Lord, and be gracious to me. Be my helper.
Then you did turn my mourning into dancing, undoing my sackcloth and robing me in gladness.
So that my soul might sing your praises and not be silenced. O Lord, my God, I will give thanks unto you forever. Leman yezamercha chavov lo yidom, Adonai Elohai le'olam odeka.
Page 22.
Baruch shemar v'olam brochu, baruch asher reshit baruch. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha'el. Yachid chei haolamim melech mishubach u'mfarad yad shemo hagadol. Baruch atah Adonai melech mehulau batishbacho.
Page 24.
Hallelujah, 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 bekodsho, hallelujah, berkia uzo. Hallelujah, vikvaratav, hallelujah, karov gudlo. Hallelujah, betega shofar. Hallelujah, beneve vechinor. Hallelujah, betofu macho. Hallelujah, beminim v'yogav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, v'tzil tzalei shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, v'tzil tzalei trua. Kohen shama talelia. Hallelujah, hallelujah, Kohen shama talelia. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Page 26.
Yishtabach Shim Kala Malkeinu, Hallel Melech Adol Kerosh. Berachot vehoraot me'atavi adolam, Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Adol batishbachot, El hahodaot Adonai nifaot, Habocher b'shirei zimra. Melech elchei haolamim, Yitgadal v'kadash merabah, Ve'amad yivrach chirutei, Ve'amlich machutei, V'hayechonu v'yamechonu chaytcho beit Yisrael, Ba'galav izman kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehesh merabah mabarach, Le'olam Maya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitvartaram, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitadlau, Shemei Dekudesha, Brichu, Le'elam Yikol Brechata, V'shirata, Tushchata, V'nechemata, Damiran V'yama, V'maru, Amen. Adonai Hamborah. Baruch Adonai Hamborah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or borei choshech, Oseh shalom u'varei hakol.
Page 30.
Tit barak sureinu malkeinu v'leinu. V'chulam potechim et pihem b'kedusha u'v'torah b'shira u'v'zimra u'mavarachim u'meshavachim u'mefa'arim u'ma'aritzim u'makdishim u'mamlichim Shem ha'el melech ha'gadol le'akdish le'otzram b'nachat ruach B'saf ha'v'rarav v'nima kedosha Kulam kecharonim v'omrim be'yira. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavot, Melocho haaretz kevodo. Ve'ho'afanim ve'chayot ha'kodesh, Be'rash gadol minasim l'matzrafim, l'matam mishabechim ve'omrim, Baruch kavod Adonai mimkomo.
Page 32.
Le'el baruch yimoti teinu l'melech ha'vim. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir, V'nizkechu lanu mehera li'oro, Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer ha'ma'orot.
Page 33, responsively. With abounding love you have loved us, O Lord our God. With tenderness you have guided us along life's path.
We implore you, O compassionate one, to have mercy on us, to help us to understand ever more deeply, to listen ever more closely, to teach ever more zealously, to observe ever more sincerely, and to love ever more truly the words of your Torah.
May our eyes shine with thoughts of Torah. May our hearts be directed to serve you in love and reverence, so that nothing we do will ever cause us to be ashamed.
Trusting at all times in your holy and awesome name, may we delight in the joy of your deliverance.
Gather us who are scattered throughout the world under your canopy of peace. Bring us all to a haven of security and dignity, O source of redemption.
You have taken us unto you from the midst of all peoples. You have brought us to you in truth, so that we might proclaim lovingly before the world your unity and uniqueness. Praised are you, O Lord, who has lovingly summoned Israel to your service. Ve'keravtanu l'shivcha gadol selah be'emet, להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. והיה אם שמוע תשמעו ותוצאה.
Let us read the last paragraph on page 37 together.
Therefore, keep my words in your heart and in your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your arm.
Let them be a
reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you were at home and when you were away, both day and night. Write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, so that your days and the days of your family upon the land which the Lord promised to your ancestors will be as numerous as the days of the heavens over the earth. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael. Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 43, responsibly. True and precious, beautiful and sanctifying has your teaching been to our people, O Lord, from generation to generation.
Your living word inscribed upon our hearts has preserved and guided us in all the twisted paths of life.
For us, as for our ancestors, your true faith is of enduring strength. It is a crown of life, the pledge of eternity.
We learn to perceive truth and faith, life and love, and freedom in your immutable law.
You appeared in days of old to our people as the faithful Redeemer, rescuing them from bondage, lifting them up from despair, and infusing them with renewed life and hope.
Though the furthest heavens cannot contain you, you are nonetheless near to all who call upon you, humbling the arrogant and raising up those who have been oppressed. Tehilot le'olayom baruch hu v'horak Moshe u'vnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabah v'yamru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh norati lot O Sefer Shira Chadasha Shivachugalim Mishimcha Safat Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu Vehim Lichu Veyam Beru Adonai Imloch Lilam Vaed Tzor Yisrael Kuma Bezrat Yisrael, Ufdechinu Mecha, Yehuda veYisrael. Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Yanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, V'zocher chasdei avot, u'mevi goel livnei b'neihem, leman shemo b'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, baruch atah Adonai, magen Abraham v'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayem eitim matorav le'hoshia, Mechakech Chaim b'chesed, Mechayem eitim brachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim u'matir asurim, U'mekayem u'menatoli shenei afar, Michamocha ba'al geburot, U'midom melach, Melech me'mit u'mechayeh u'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atala hachayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hameitim. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam keshem shmati shimoto b'shmei marom, kakatuv hayad neviecha, v'kara zel ze v'yamar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melocha haaretz kevodo, L'umatam Baruch Yameru. Baruch kavod Adonai mimkomo, Divrei kochcha katuv lemor. Yimloch Adonai le'lam Elohai Etzion, L'dor v'ador hallelujah. לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדוש הכל נקדיש, בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לעמוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Shem Shalom. Oh, hey, Hoseh Shalom Bimramav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'yimaru. Amen.
May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. You establish peace in the heavens. Grant it now on earth to us, to Israel, and to all humankind. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Page 64.
Yitgadav Gadash Merabah. Be'amad Yibrach Yerutei V'yamlich Malchutei. B'chaychon v'yameichon v'chaycho Beit Yisrael. B'agalav Yizman Kariv V'yimaru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach. Le'olam Elam E'omaya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitram v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalav shmei kurusha b'rechu le'elam min kol b'chata v'shirata tushchata v'nechemata damiran v'yama v'imaru. Amen. Titkabal saloton uvatahon d'hal Yisrael kadama v'hon divishmaya v'imaru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimaru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimaru. Amen.
Boker Tov, good morning. Double Torah portion we're reading tomorrow, concluding the book of Leviticus. Two portions. The first is called Bahar, which means what, by the way? On the mountain. And the second? Bechukotai. Okay, so Bahar, Bechukotai. Again, the last two portions in the book of Leviticus. Bahar, the first of the two portions, begins with a description of an ancient agricultural cycle that was practiced in Israel. And so, interestingly, it corresponds in many ways to the counting of the Omer. So let's think how we count the Omer. What's the numerical cycle of the counting? It's 7 times 7 days, so a total of 49 days, which brings us to a 50th day. And the 50th day in the counting of the Omer cycle, the 50th day is Shavuot. Okay. So there is a parallel cycle to that in how years were counted in ancient Israel. So it's 7 times 7 years, 49 years. You get to the 50th year, which is the Jubilee year. What's that called in Hebrew? The Yovel year. Yovel year, okay. And within the 7 times 7 year cycle, there is also a kind of weekly reflection of 6 days of work and a 7th day of rest, Shabbat. So 6 years of working the fields, and a 7th year of letting the fields rest. So there was no working the crops in the 7th year of that 7 times 7 year cycle. Every 7th year they would let the fields grow fallow. And then you get to that Jubilee year, that's the 50th year, and the Torah says, Ukratem lachem dror ba'aretz v'chol yoshveha. So you will call for them or proclaim for them a dror for the aretz, land, you know, as aretz. Dror, what that means is a little difficult to understand, but some special thing is proclaimed for the land, v'chol yoshveha, and all of its inhabitants. That, by the way, is the verse that's inscribed on the Liberty Bell, yeah, in Philadelphia. So the question is, what is that dror? What is that thing? And the way the Torah describes it after the verse is in the following way. That when you get to that 50th Jubilee year, any land that has exchanged ownership in the course of the 50 years is returned automatically to its owner, its original owner. At the same time, debts are canceled when you get to the 50th year. Okay? So pause for a second and think about those two ideas. One, that every 7th year, you don't work the land at all. You just let it grow fallow, let it lie fallow, A. And B, that when you get into the 50th year of the cycle, any land that's been exchanged is returned to its original owners, and they don't pay for it, by the way. It's just given back to them, okay? And any debts that have been taken out in the course of time are automatically canceled. Even if, let's say 6 months before the Jubilee year comes along, you take out a mortgage. I mean, they didn't have mortgages then, but you understand what I mean. So 6 months into your mortgage, gone, totally gone. Okay. Now, you might be thinking at this point, how could that be? I mean, right? How could it be that every 7th year they don't work the fields at all? Because what are they going to eat? And how could it be that every 50th year, all of these business transactions that have been put into place over years and years and years are just suddenly sort of wiped off the books automatically? How could that be? And the answer is, it probably wasn't. The answer is, it probably wasn't. Howard, yeah? So the Torah actually says, to Howard's point about Joseph, the Torah actually says that, because the Torah knows the idea is crazy, right? The Torah knows it. And the Torah actually says, oh, no, don't worry. The 6th year of the cycle, you'll have a great year in terms of growing produce, so you'll be able to stock up. And the 7th year, you'll be fine. Everything will be fine. But come on, you know that doesn't work, right? Okay. Right. All kinds of problems, all kinds of potential problems with the system. So what the heck is going on? It's not uncommon to find in the Torah a projection of the Torah's idea of what an ideal society should be like. Okay? The Torah knows that's not real. It's not the reality. The Torah knows that there's no way you can let fields lie fallow every 7 years. The Torah knows that you can't reach a 50th year in a cycle and annul debts and return land to its original owner. It's just not practical. It can't work. And most scholars think it didn't work. Most scholars think it wasn't actually, in practice in ancient times. But the Torah wants you to think about what it means to live in a world where those things might be practiced, where you take care of the land so that the land can grow in the proper way, where you don't just work the land until you work it out of its ability to grow new crops, where there is not a growing gap between those who have and those who do not have, which is what happens if you don't have some kind of reset to return land to its original owners and to cancel debts out. The wealth gap grows greater and greater and greater, which is one of the things we're seeing in this country right now. The Torah knows it's not practical, but the Torah doesn't necessarily want you to live Jewishly pragmatically. The Torah wants you to live Jewishly understanding that you have to sometimes live and deal with the real world, but that you should be trying, as you live as a Jew, to create an ideal world. And so every once in a while, the Torah sets that table for you, asks you to take a look at it, and then leaves you with the question, how can we get closer to it? If not exactly what it is, how can we get closer to it? And that's the question we ask ourselves every day and live as Jews. Shabbat Shalom. It was an unbelievable evening last night. If you were here, I hope you were. Yeah, it was just a fabulous night. So I hope you enjoyed and have a great Shabbos.
Page 76, Ashrei, responsibly.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Od Yalalucha Selah.
Ashrei Ha'am Shekacham Lo, Ashrei Ha'am Shadonai Lahav.
Tehillah David, Aramim Chalohai HaMelech, Vavracha Shimcha Le'lam Va'ed.
B'cho Yom Erechecha, V'yalal Shimecha Le'elam Va'ed.
Gadol Adonai Me'od, V'li Gdulato Ein Cheker.
Dor l'Shabbat Ma'asecha, Gvrotecha Yagidu.
Hadar Kavod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha.
Be'zut Nerotecha Yomeru, Gvrotecha Asprena.
Zecher Rav Tuvcha Yabiu, V'tzitkatcha Yeranenu.
Ranun Adonai, Erech Apayim V'gadol Hased.
Tov Adonai Lako, V'rachamav Al Kol Ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha, V'yasidecha Yivarchucha.
Kavod Malchutcha Yomeru, Ugavuratcha Yadaberu.
Lahodia Livnei Adam Karota, Kavod Hadar Malchuto.
Malchutecha Malchutcha Olamim, Umemshaltecha Bechol Dor Vador.
So make Adonai L'cha Hanuflim, so Keif L'cha HaKafufim.
Einecho Elecha Yasaberu, V'yata noten lahem et Oklam Bito. Poteach et Yadecha, Masbia Lechochai Ratzon. Tzadik Adonai Bechol Deracha, v'chasid b'chol ma'asav.
Korov Adonai l'ha korov, l'ha asher yikra'uku bemet.
Ritzon Yereav Yaseh, v'et Shavatam Yishma v'yoshiyem.
Shomer Adonai et kohavav, v'ekol hasharim yashmid.
Tihilat Adonai adaber pi, v'varecho basar shem kodsho le'olam va'ed, v'anachnu nevarech ya, me'ata v'ad olam, hallelujah. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula lioseh breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishvot kwadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'go aleinu kekol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'Yosed Haaretz, U'Moshav Yekaro b'Shamayim Mimal, U'Shkinatu Zo, B'Gov Hei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emem Malkeinu Efezulato, Kakatu B'Torato, V'yadata hayom b'ashevota el v'alecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mimahal, v'al haaretz, mitachat einod, al king nekvelachar Eloheinu l'robim. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, le'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shamo echad. At this time, we recall with reverence those of our beloved departed whose yahrzeits are being observed today, the 21st day of Iyar. Pauline Abramovitz, Esther Eisen-Siegel Burr, Norman Bush, Mervyn Buddy Koblenzer, Isidore Cohen, Bill Feldman, June Hilda Finkelstein, Samuel Handelman, Elsie R. Harrison, Howard Ross Jackman, Lena Kaufman, William Leon Kirk, Jack Klein, Stephen Gary Lebowitz, Hyman Lipman, Pearl K. Mask, Stanley Rosen, Abraham Rothman, Max David Schleider, Ethel Ruth Shockett, Mary U. Singer, and Vera Singer. Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, may their righteous memories continue to bring blessings into our lives every day. To that, let us say, Amen.
In solemn testimony to the unbroken chain of faith which we believe links our generations one to another, those who are in mourning and those observing a yahrzeit today will now rise to recite the Kaddish, page 82. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divarach harute v'amlich malchute. V'chayachon v'mechon v'chaye kol beit Yisrael. B'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mavarach, Le'olam Lameo Maya.
Yit barak v'yishtabak v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit halev v'yit halal shemei dekudusha.
Brichu.
Le'elo minko v'chata v'shirata. Tush v'chata v'nehemata. Damim ram v'yalma v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlomo rabo min shemaya. L'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, Uyaseh shalom. Oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru
Amen.
Psalm of the day can be found on page 96 and 97.
Hayom Yom Shishi B'Shabbat, Shabo Hayu Havim Omrim B'Veit HaMikdash.
The Lord is king. He is robed in grandeur. The Lord is robed. He is girded with strength.
The world stands firm, it cannot be shaken.
Your throne stands firm from of old. From eternity you have existed.
The ocean sounds, O Lord, the ocean sounds its thunder, the ocean sounds its pounding.
Above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breakers of the sea, is the Lord, majestic on high.
Your decrees are indeed enduring. Holiness befits your house, O Lord, for all times. Edo techanem nu meod, leveitcha nava kodesh, Adonai leorech yamim.
We conclude our service with the Mourner's Kaddish, page 82. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divarach harute v'amlich malchute. V'chayachon v'mechon v'chaye kol beit Yisrael. Ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mavarach, Le'olam Lameo Maya.
Yit barak v'yishtabak v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit halev v'yit halal shemei dekudusha.
Brichu.
Le'elo minko b'chata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nehemata. Damim ram v'yalma v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlomo rabo min shemaya. L'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Uyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Amen. This concludes our service for the morning. This evening services at 5:45, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.